Yeah. We may have to switch in the evening, right?
Yeah. So that's like one thing I wanted to bring up. Did you see the video? Did you hear like how much Bobby really loved your layout?
Yeah. Now, I was looking at the Notion you created,
Mhm.
and I was trying to search for the color schemes that you specified on the Notion.
Mhm.
Now, I changed the, if you go to the Figma file, I changed it to not view to edit to. Uh, if you look at the mock-up, I'm trying to play around with the colors where we can actually incorporate the teal color she wants.
Yeah, I really liked how you had the purple. Like, I like how the purple. Ooh, you did a really good
You
job
see
with the
that?
teal. Yeah,
Did you see that the shop page? I changed it like it's like was
yeah. I
I'm
didn't think
just
it would look as nice. I just was like, I really enjoyed how you had it originally, and I know that she wanted the teal color, and I just
I
didn't
know
know
I just don't know
where.
if it's just gonna get lost or something. You know what I mean?
Right, because like I really like how you did that gold in the yellow. Like I feel like that stands out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that is beautiful about this. Like I know this took a long time for you to create. I know it's not simple to create.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, but what I'm thinking is, you see how I did this part?
mhm.
I because when I just put just the tail, it looks like it just got lost. Because
Yeah,
the main plum color is the prominent color, and then all of a sudden we're putting a tail. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So what I did, I put a gradient there so that it still picks up the color down below. And
I mean, it looks good. We'll see what she says. I just assumed that.
now I was looking. I was there's different kinds of. Now on your Notion, you said light teal. This is the light teal. So that's different from the first one you put on the, what do you call this? The Slack. The hex was 00
Mine
CCCB.
was a RGB. That's why.
Yeah, and then that was that one. And now the light tail on your Notion, this is this one. So it's kind of getting lost. I
Yeah.
mean,
Let me pull that up.
Hey guys.
Hey, Cameron. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
where are you?
Doing all right.
I am peachy. I am trying to pull up. So
I haven't gotten back really with the Warframe. I just got onto my computer today. I've been so busy a couple days, but I was trying to play around with the colors when I read your Notion. And I said, it's
yeah,
going to get lost. Where am I going to put it? You know what I mean?
yeah. I think maybe we could like once we figure out the WordPress, maybe that's where we could put the teal. Because I really, really originally loved. I mean, it doesn't. Here, let me share so
Mhm.
Hanlon could actually see as well.
We can
Um,
actually, we can actually, uh, not touch her WordPress and just include the blog page here if she wants to, unless she really wants. Because I'm not, like I said before, WordPress is created in PHP and we're creating React. I'm not sure how that's gonna
it'll work. I know
work.
a little bit of PHP, and
Yeah,
PHP works well with JavaScript.
really? Yeah, because
Yeah,
I never know how to use PHP or anything.
yeah. PHP was like the original what Python is now.
Now
Um,
I'm just thinking, since we're touching the WordPress blog she has, wouldn't we have to redesign that headers and stuff also, you know what I'm saying? To make it the same as her web page theme?
Well, right now, I'm not going to focus on the WordPress right now. We're not going to focus on the blog just because I'm still trying to wrap my head around a couple of things. So I
Mhm.
do know that she wants the blog in there and she wants it to be cohesive with the rest of the website. So she doesn't want a link and all that. And she's willing to let us, change the skin of what the WordPress, what her blog looks like. But right now, I haven't done research on that because I've been focusing on Square.
Okay.
And I actually had where I've been searching for stuff and there are lots of documents and we really don't have enough time to go through all the documents to understand and make that process because we're dealing with people's money. So we don't want to like really screw that up. And there's no tutorials or anything. Everything keeps leading me back to Squarespace, which is where they create it. And I did reach out to Katrina, but I do know that in the meeting, Bobby did suggest that she would go to Stripe. So I'm looking into that right now because there's more resources. So right now I don't have a lot on it. I should have more hopefully in a week and then I could talk about it because what I was worried about is with the JSON objects with doing the Square API, I believe that like the products, like they would have all that, those JSON objects. So like, I didn't want to start creating that until I understood like what was all involved in that. But like I said, I'm still doing a little research on it and working on that. Now. So I figured we don't have to be on here long. We're just gonna go over like what our agenda is, what we're working on, and all that. So one thing I just want to ask everyone: what have we started or completed since our previous meeting?
5 a.m. Take care of some animals. From that point, I get ready for work. As a pest control technician, I work from about 8 to 5 every day. Go home,
Your
take
mic
care
is
of our
on.
animals. Yeah, oh, sorry.
You're good.
So does anybody have anything that they've like started working on since the previous meeting?
I have been going through a little bit of personal stuff, so no, I haven't really done too much. But I am looking into like a lot of the JSON objects and at least like listing out what we need because I think we might be okay in like the product itself, but I don't know.
Okay.
We might want to add,
Right. Yeah, there's more stuff like we'll have to think of like the joins and how all the
Yeah.
information we want in there. So that's cool that and I'm sorry that you're going through some stuff. I do know that both you and Tammy actually got new jobs. So I know that you start.
I start on Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tammy, I'm sure you told me when you start. I don't remember.
Yeah, I start tomorrow.
Okay. So my question is, do we need to adjust the time for our Thursday meeting?
At the moment, I think I could potentially still be okay, but I think to be safe, anytime after like 5 or I guess like 6:30 Central Time would be good for me.
So that would be 7:30
Eastern, yeah.
time.
Okay, yeah, 7:30 works for me because my schedule is 10 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the one thing that I wanted to make sure, because it's exciting that you guys got new jobs. I just want to be able to make arrangements for you guys. And
Yeah.
Mitch, you know,
Sure.
we could always meet earlier too if you want. So
I am okay with 7:30.
Okay.
Like I said, Thursday is my free day, so I have no problem at all.
oh, I meant like if you needed to like talk through things, like me and you could always still meet later. I mean,
Yeah, sure,
just
sure, yeah.
leaving that open for you. Also, I'm gonna keep posting like my the I guess the poly for the when my times are available. So then if you guys could see if anything matches, that's when you guys could reach out to me and say, okay, this works for me, and then we could set it up in Google, because I know that our schedules are going to be getting a little bit more complicated now.
Yeah.
So then also we got to think about what deliverables we want to present to Bobby. Now, it doesn't have to be like actual code. We could come up, you know, it's stuff that we're going to be talking about. Like I know that Mitch was talking about different things being said on the blog. Like I do see that it looks like she made a really good, what is it called, mission statement, and we might want to see if Bobby would want to keep with that. So that's making your making your pet's life a little more glamorous. So I thought that was like a good mission statement, but that's something that we would want to see if that's what she wants to keep. I think that's perfect. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I
I
agree.
said,
Yeah.
like I said, Bobby has to gives us some input to plug in on what she wanted, really.
Right,
Because you
but
know,
but right now,
we might
yeah,
go ahead. We might be thinking this and that, but it is her website, so she may want to say something. Now we can request if she can send us anything she wants to put in there. At least we're just doing the design of the website and stuff like that, but she has to have a say on it, doesn't she?
yeah, she does. And you could keep what you have, or we could do, what is that, the Laurent, whatever, where it's like the word filler thing until she could give us stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not too stressed about that right now. The one thing that I thought would be a little bit easier as we're trying to, like right now, I'm just trying to understand the key e-commerce. So I am like trying to think of things that could have like our front end work on that doesn't have anything to do with trying to get JSON objects. So like there's a couple of things that I think are a little bit static that you could complete without having those, like setting up your app.js and creating placeholder routes. So you're creating those pages, but obviously, you know, you're not going to have anything on there. You can make the navbar component. You can make the hero section, which we have the images, and we could use that mission statement that Mitch has there, which I really like that mission statement. We could do the about me. We could take the information that we have on her blog and paste it in there. And then if that's something that she wants to change, then she could give us the change, but at least we have that in the blog. And then you could work on the footer. And then once we figure out if we need to create, because the thing is like with the e-commerce, some of these things will offer the actual data schema. So I'm trying to understand like what I need to do, well, more we need to do to actually present that information into the website. So before, I didn't want to double work. I mean, we can. I'm just trying to think that we should think smarter than doing extra work. Do you guys haven't, I mean, anything, I mean, I just don't want to come off like, do this, this, this. So any information would be great. So if you guys want to jump in, feel free.
Yeah, sorry about the TV. I didn't realize it was that loud.
It's okay. I had to mute you because I couldn't
concentrate. Yeah. No, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't think it was that loud, but then I guess with these like AirPods, it picks up literally everything. I actually, sorry, I keep saying literally. I only started the React components like bare bones, like template. So with the landing page, if we're okay with what Mitch built out, we can probably get started on building out that first page.
You don't have the data schema.
Right.
I mean, you could do that. So you won't be able to do that because like those images will be, I mean, you could put them in for now. And then when we have them in, like,
and then
because like, because I was going to have them put in S3. So it's already up in a cloud and easier for it to be loadable, because sometimes when it's in the VS Code, sometimes it doesn't always load properly.
Yeah, that's
sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about getting like a stock image off of Google and just having it as a placeholder, and just have like the template built out and replace it with what we grab from the objects in the back end.
I think we could do that just so like, because we don't need to make it the most efficient way originally, because I think it'll postpone a lot of work if we try to go the most efficient way, since we have to set everything up first. So do you think like doing the whole stock image thing would it be easy, like just to kind of have placeholders in there?
I don't know if you're,
So, I mean, having the images, that's fine, but creating the information for the data, I didn't want anybody working on that until we figured out what the JSON objects, and if that's something that we got to pull from either Stripe or Square, whatever one, like when we talk to Bobby, because like I said, some of these things include the JSON objects. So that's why I haven't, that's why I've kind of stalled on that, because I want to get the right information before we do that. And, you know, I have been, like I said, the last week I've been trying to find stuff. Like I looked on Udemy, I've looked on Pluralsight, I looked on Free Codecamp, I looked on LinkedIn Learning. I mean, I can name a bunch, YouTube, and everything keeps going back to Squarespace where they're creating it. And I think like that's their thing. I think like the APIs and all that is a little bit new. I think it's been out maybe since 2016, 2018. So there isn't much tutorials to build out one. And I see some code, but like I said, we're dealing with people's money, and I don't want to screw that up on them. And we have a lot of information that we got to go through in the Square, and because we got 9 weeks, we really don't have enough time to go through all that.
Okay, sorry, I have a question. I don't think I'm understanding, because in terms of front end, I usually just work with using fetch and pulling it from a URL and getting it from like, a GET request. So if I were to use stock images on Google or something, right?
Mhm.
And we replace it with the backend code when we finally get it, isn't it just like one block of code that we would need from the front end versus just building it up from the front, like using SAS and the div and like the different components? Because it's still going to be the same, whether with the layout of it, if that makes sense.
So Fetch is very similar to Axios, so I know that. So yes, you would have a link, and that link would be what we're creating our database. And in order to have your code to match up with our database, we have to be in sync with how we want the database schema to look like. And right now we don't have that. So that's why I thought doing the static components right now will keep you guys busy until, we understand the whole, what we need for that data schema. So like, creating the routing, the placeholders, the nav bar, the hero section, the about me footer. I mean, that should give you enough work until we understand the whole concept of what we need for the data schema.
Yeah. Okay, cool. As long as we're on the same page, because like I kind of just want to have the bare bones of the front end done and not just cram until like the last few weeks when we actually have all the data that we needed. And I'm totally open with like adjusting as we go, just something just to have for now.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm trying to think smart than harder for us, just because, you could go out and build all that, but then when we decide like how we're going to do the schema, then you'll have, if it doesn't match what you already have laid out, that's all your hard work that you got to redo. So I'm trying to not do that to you.
Okay.
So that's why like I sat here and I was like thinking, what can they work on until I understand, well, not just me, but we understand the data schema. And like I said, some of these sites offer the data schema. So I'm just trying to get a better understanding before I'm like, here, this is our data schema. So that's where I just wanted to know how you guys felt, if that's something that you're okay, because, I don't know if you would be able to get them all done in a week, but I mean, if you are, you're awesome. Just because of like all the stuff going on. Like, I know like I have personal stuff, so I'm not always coding. But I thought that was enough for maybe at least a week, and then we could come back and see like what we need to do with the data schema, because that is really important with the e-commerce and being able to get the functionality out of the website. So, Tammy, you said that you started working on some of the stuff. What exactly? I know you said it, and my brain is like not all here. So
I wouldn't call it working. I just did the NPX create React app situation thing, and I know that Katrina made us a repository. I don't even remember if I pulled that yet. So I'm thinking of just transferring whatever I have over to the repository and pushing it up. But it's literally just routing the two different components that I had built. And it's, if that's not what we wanted, I can easily just change it.
I mean, we can see what you got.
Yeah, that's funny. I was doing the Create React app too. the starter boilerplate, and
Yeah, it literally takes 10 seconds. Like if not, I can just delete mine.
Yeah.
It's not a big
No,
deal.
no.
Yeah.
maybe what we can do is you create one, and then we can actually just merge our files when, you know what I mean, as we go
Yeah.
along. Let's say I was creating my own create React app, and then I did part of it, like the nav bar, because that's the main component of everything, and then I'll push it up, and then whatever you create, and then we'll just keep on merging as we go along. How is that?
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah, just
And it'd
you know,
probably be
that's-
good if you guys actually put all the information in our Asana, so you guys know what parts you guys are working on.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, I can actually do that, but which one I'm touching or which one I'm creating at the moment, you know what I mean? Maybe,
Yeah.
and then as we go along, since I know we've been there before, that our codes are actually different, but then we can start merging and see which one works better and stuff like that. But we keep on pushing on each branch. Maybe do we have to create a branch for our own repo, so that
So every branch that you create, so
Mhm.
say like you're working on the nav bar, I would put nav bar and then put your initials on it. Just your
Okay.
initials, not like what we did for Lambda.
Yeah, because so that when everything's final, that's when we merge it, see if it works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's okay with you, Tammy.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah, because I was looking into the codes too. Yeah, besides, like you mentioned before, we're gonna be, you wanted to use Redux. Well, I can deal with that. So we can start
Actually,
React and Redux. But since you're more proficient on Redux, you can
I
probably
am really not. I don't
correct what
count
I'm
me
gonna
in
do.
on that. No, I'm just gonna learn along with you.
Uh-huh.
Definitely not. I definitely
Yeah.
don't really know Redux, but it was, yeah.
Well, since Lambda, it's like everything just disappeared on my head. So I'll
Me
probably
too.
uh probably be learning as we go along
Yeah.
which one's gonna work or not.
so with Redux, you want to make sure that like, is that something that you really need for it? And I
Yeah,
think you could
because
actually do contacts API, which it's not as heavy as Redux and it's more flexible. So you might want to look into the contacts API more, just because it's just hooks. It's the context hooks, and
the
I mean, you
React
still have
hook
to do your
we're talking
use
about React.
reducer.
Yeah. Are we talking about React hooks?
No, I'm talking about the here. Let me pull it up. Let me see if I still have it. So, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so the contacts, you would just create like my contacts, and it would, I mean, here's the documentation, but I've been looking at some tutorials, and this seems like it might be a little bit easier than Redux.
So are we totally gonna be not using Redux anymore? Are you saying?
You want, so when you are looking at a project and you want to know like how you're going to be using state, there are a couple of questions that you want to ask, like what data would Redux state help me easier to access throughout the application? Can we achieve the same goals without Redux? Is it possible to use React contacts instead of Redux? This is pretty much the React hooks and the contacts form. And then think of the application like this to minimize the technical data. So if you're wanting to add more features, you want to be able to easily scale up and add more features and less refactoring. So with the contacts API, that might be it. I mean, Mitch, you actually used the contacts API when you did the recipe database. So, you know, I think you might be a little bit more familiar, and that might be a little bit easier for you and Tammy to go over than Redux, because Redux is like a lot. And, you know, a lot of times you don't need Redux for state, and that's why they have the contacts. I mean, it's up to you, but you have the use reducer hook that you could use for it. So that might be a little bit easier.
Okay. We will see. I'll check that out, because I'll see how the components are really even better and easier. And
Yeah, doesn't contacts API re-render everything? I don't know anything about contacts API. I just remember that Redux only re-renders like the one updated component with the state.
yeah,
But regardless, like either one, I don't really know too much about, so I'm open to whatever works.
yeah, we'll work it out. We'll see what we can work on easier for both of us.
Just trying to see if I could find something.
Yeah, and also looking as we were talking, see if I can find something.
Trying to contact. Yeah, this might help. And I'm posting this just not in our main channel, in the channel where it's just us.
Cool, thank you.
There's a few things that I found that might help you guys. And Tammy, I've been looking into that patch instead of put, and
Yeah.
I might try to implement it, just that I've never done it, just to say that I did. But
Okay, yeah.
but I just wanted to let you know, like, I heard you and I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. Let me see if I could figure it out. I don't think it's much different than the put.
Right, yeah.
But you know, I just wanted to understand. And I think it just, what it does is, like, especially if we're wanting to update like a password, a patch would be probably better, but I'm not sure like for the products. So like say like we have a place for Bobby to enter in her collars, and say like she needs to go in and adjust a bunch of things. So like I'm not sure if the patch would be beneficial. So that's something that I'm looking into, just to see like maybe we might need to implement both. I don't know. Just depending on like what part of the data that we're trying to use that CRUD. But I just wanted to let you know I've been looking into that.
Cool.
So next week we have a meeting with Bobby. What are the things that we want to talk about? And then also, if you guys could let me know if you're able to enter the questions into that Notion, because if not, I need to make sure you have accessibility if you're adding the questions, or you're welcome to send them to me and I could add them. But I think just having questions for her makes it easier to flow for the meeting. And I did set it up where, because I think we got like 4 more meetings with Bobby. So I have where we already did our October 21st, but then the next one is November 4th. And I put a couple of questions in there, just trying to get more of a understanding when we do start working on the back end. I wanted to know like what is the minimum inches in the collar and the max. So like we don't want someone going, oh, I want 120 inches for a collar, because we damn sure know that no animal has 120 inches, neck. So I wanted to see like that should help like foolproof entry for the customer. So like Mitch, you had questions on the front end about wording and stuff like that. So I would put those questions in on the front end. And then Tammy, if you have any, same. And then Hanlon, if you have any, feel free.
Let me check if we can.
Reason why I keep asking this is because like I've never shared where I have other people writing on it. So
yeah. Let's see. I don't think I can.
yeah, I don't see anything. Like a lot of times you can see someone typing on here. I just did something. Maybe it might let you do it now. I mean, worst case scenario, I guess if I can't figure it out, you guys could send it. Oh, I see you on there now.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a little button at the top right hand corner that said like edit. And then yeah, I can edit now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys can just, whenever you have questions, go ahead and put them on there. And it doesn't necessarily mean like for Bobby, it could be for us as well. Something that we want to talk about that you're thinking about, like you're in the middle of coding or you're in the middle of doing something for this and you're, or just in general, and you're like, oh, this would be something that I want to ask. And, you know, you can put it in there. So later on, you don't forget. You guys might not be like me where I forget all the time. But that's the reason why I like it, just because I also have it on my phone. So if I'm not near my computer, I could always put it on my phone as well. And Holly just went out. I'm not sure. Sometimes it takes a moment. So I'm not going to put my name on any of them because those are the times that I'm like available. So if you guys are available, you can put your thing in and then you can reach out and say, hey, can we set up a time to work on something? And we could do that. And then what I'll do is, let's go back to our calendar. While I'm doing this, what do you guys want to present or talk about with Bobby next week? Mitch, I know that you wanted to talk about certain things from your wireframe. Did I lose you guys?
I don't know.
Sorry, I have to unmute because my dog keeps on barking.
Oh, you're fine. So we won't have a meeting before Bobby then, because
Yeah.
we're going to be meeting at 6:30, unless there's another day that you guys want to get together to discuss what we're talking about. But if that's the case, then we need to be really interacting more on Slack as in what we want to discuss during the week. So we are ready to talk to her. And I'm deleting the one on Thanksgiving. There's no way that we're meeting on Thanksgiving. And I don't know if you saw, like I put it out, I updated it where it looks like these, maybe because I updated it the time that I did. I tried to update them where it would not go past the time that our 12 weeks that we started. So it looks like December 23rd would be like our last meeting ever with HTTC and this project.
Okay, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be 12 weeks, so yeah, that works.
I think that would have been 12 weeks because it started, because like I think I did 9 weeks after I did this, because we already had 3 weeks in when I created this.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it's wrong, just let me know. I think that's right. It might be maybe a week more. I don't know.
What happens if we don't finish?
She doesn't have a website. I don't know. I just know, I think Katrina is wanting it to be like how it's Lambda, where we're working on it and then possibly have another team work on it, which is why I just want to focus on like our e-commerce and like getting the layout of the website and then understanding what the schema is, because those are important. And if we don't get to the blog, that's something that someone else could add on, if you know what I mean. But, you know, I would love to complete that myself too, but I don't know. I guess when we have our one-on-ones with Katrina, you could ask her that and you could get more information, just because I'm not sure. She's the one that's ruling this. So nobody has anything that they want to have a deliverable, because like that's something that is important, to have deliverables every sprint. So we have something to work towards and be able to achieve it. Obviously the sprint is almost over. I think it's what, this week is the end of this sprint. So next week starts a new sprint.
Yeah, right now, I don't think we have deliverables except for our visuals. So we have to put something in the codes, at least a little bit at a time, so we can have something.
Oh my God, hold on. Sorry. I did not hear what you just said, Mitch. I apologize. Something just decided to play on my
Well,
computer.
like I said, right now we don't have any deliverables yet, except for our wireframe. That's it. So we can actually start little bit at a time. Tammy and I can start a little bit of the pages, I guess, which pages we can build or something, and go from there. Because right now we don't really have any deliverables.
Yeah. And that's why I thought maybe if you guys are, like both you and Tammy said that you started the Create React app part, that would be good if you could just make 1 or 2 components if you can. And that's why I was thinking of just the static components, not the ones that you're needing the data schema. And then I know that Hanlon has been also working on, understanding the JSON objects, so the schema. So, I mean, that's something that we could talk about. So that's a deliverable. And then, you know, I've been doing research with Square, and then right now I'm doing Stripe, doing a little bit more. So hopefully I'll have something for her to be like, hey, you know, this is the reason why we decided to go this route. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds okay.
Um,
I think deliverables, yeah, are just kind of things we can talk to her about. It doesn't necessarily mean like,
physical stuff.
yeah, like we don't have to show her anything necessarily at this point in time.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, we're still in the early stages, and you know, a lot of times when it comes to starting like a new website and going into it, you know, 12 weeks seems like it's a long time, but it really isn't, because you got to do a lot of research. You got to, you know, there's a lot more. And, you know, what we were doing in the beginning, like trying to understand what she's wanting, and like trying to understand what stack we're using, and just building up to build it is like the most important part before the build. And then the build is like, it should come easy, because then everyone would be on the same page. So if you're feeling like, oh, we haven't delivered anything, we have. I mean, we had lots of stuff that I felt that we delivered last meeting. And then
Yeah.
This meeting, I think, you know, if we have where we're trying to use the Asana and showing that, you know, you guys are pulling in some stuff to work on. I even need to do it. Like I even created, I don't know if you guys saw that you could go in to your name and you have your own board. So like if there's certain things that you want to work on, you could add in there and move it, and it doesn't show up on the regular board, because I thought it did and it didn't when I put mine up. But that's a good way to keep track on what you're working on too. But I think the most important thing is, especially that we're all going to be working on the same thing, we need to be communicating on Asana and Slack, so we don't have people working on the same thing at this, you know, say like Mitch started the nav bar and then Tammy also started the nav bar. That's like double work. So like if we could keep conversation, let us know what we're working on and what you're planning on working on, I think that will help the overlapping of it. Not that saying that happened, but just, you know, using that as an example. Is there anything that anybody has questions on, or maybe I am, so like I have an issue that I think things in my head and don't always speak it out loud. So I just want to make sure that I didn't do any of that, because my brain moves faster than my mouth.
No, I think we covered everything that I can think of. I don't know if you guys have any questions.
Hanlon, have you ever worked with Express and Node? I know that like you've done Python, and
Yeah. I have not, but I've been trying to look in. I've been doing some tutorials on like React and everything to at least get up to speed about it a little bit.
Okay. React isn't part of Express and Node.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to work React, I'm sure the ladies will be probably very willing to help. I know Tammy, we talked about that if we had someone else come in to help.
Yeah.
That she was excited to possibly help someone. But I also I did come across some tutorials and like an article I could send you. Now, I was trying to look for free stuff. I don't know if you're like part of Plural site or if you use Udemy. So some of these might be a little bit longer than what I would want to give you, but at least it's something, and then you could maybe build from there. But I did find an article. I don't know if you ever use Mozilla. They really explain it well, but I can send you those here. I'll send those. And like I said, they're just suggestions. Don't feel like you have to do it. And like I said, like one's 4 hours, one's 8 hours. Like I feel like that's way too long.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find something. And like I said, like if you are like part of Pluralsight or Udemy, or even like, I don't know if I explained, some areas you could do LinkedIn Learning, and you could get it free through your library. So if that's something I'm willing to like see if there's something out there too. But I was just trying to find free stuff just because I know not everyone has like the paid versioning.
Yeah.
So I guess Tammy and Mitch, you guys are going to be working on some components. So while you're doing that, just make sure you're using Asana and communicate with each other so you're not working on the same components. And then if you guys that were not meeting before the meeting with Bobby, if you guys could just let me know what's going on so I know what we're presenting to Bobby. I don't want to be blindsided and not know. And then I'm gonna do a little bit more digging with e-commerce. And then yeah, Hanlon, like I know that you're working on the JSON stuff and all that. If you do have questions, feel free. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert, but I'm still green like everyone.
Yeah.
But working and maybe talking it out could be helpful too. So just feel free. All of you feel free to reach out. But I guess if we're all on the same page, we could head out.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think I'm good too.
Yep.
Okay. And then if there's something that I feel that isn't like resonating with you guys, just feel free and let me know. Because I know everyone has a way of doing things differently. I just think communication is a big thing, especially now that we're not going to be meeting before we meet with Bobby.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you guys have a good day, and I guess I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
You too. Have a good
Okay.
one.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.